So, No Time to Die was garbage. Not a great film, by any stretch of the imagination. And one of the large points of that movie was changing James Bond. Well, they've not gone far enough, ladies and gents. It's got to be changed and reinvented. James Bond must be reinvented to reflect the way the world has changed for the past 2 decades. Apparently, this is confirmed by the James Bond producer, Barbara Broccoli. Terrible person to be handling James Bond. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. So here's subscribe if you're new here, folks. Turn those bell notifications on. There's not many of you that actually have them turned on. And, you know, logic is YouTube probably won't even notify you, but try it anyway, I guess. So James Bond producer Barbara Broccoli recently confirmed that the future James Bond films will reinvent the character and stories for the modern world. Because, absolutely, we need more characters taken drastically far and away from where they originated from, adjusted for the modern world, and then regurgitated out to all be basically the same. God, that's fun, isn't it, ladies and gents? That's going to be so much fun. And also, do you trust the writers to be able to do that effectively? Again, without it becoming the present day archetype that they're currently pushing? No, of course not. It's going to be garbage. Absolutely trash. This is an article on Bounding into Comics. And they've highlighted the interview. So there was an interview with The Guardian to promote the Prime Video reality series 007 Road to a Million. Barbara Broccoli informed the outlet that there are plans for the character to be, and I quote, reinvented for the next chapter. Albeit she and other executives haven't even begun the process yet. Well, at least there's that. Maybe the current thing will change in the time span that it takes them to finally get another character and then actor for the character, and then their reinvention will somewhat actually not be so much of a reinvention. Oh no, that's wishful thinking, isn't it? It's going to be garbage. So the Guardian's Tara Conlon added. She added that the next film would have to reflect the way the world has changed in the 2 decades since Daniel Craig was confirmed as the 6th 007, and pointed out that Bond has often been reinvented. Not as much as you'd think, though. Actually, not as much as you'd think. I mean, the core tenets of what James Bond is as a character have stayed the same, because that's his character, it's his personality, it's the things which make up the individual that is James Bond, the things which make you want to go watch a film. You want to see Bond. You want Bond girls, for instance. You do want to see a Bond girl. Why? Because it's part of Bond. It's part of the appeal. Sex sells at the end of the day. And also, this is a it's not even hyper reality, really. It's just way out there. It's fiction. It's this guy that runs around the world with a license to kill, and apparently the charm to thrill and bang his way through countries. And that's fun to watch. It's fun when the women spurn him. It's fun when, which one is he going to get? All this stuff is fun. His murderous rampages he goes on, they're fun. It'd be like giving us a James Bond with no gadgets. That's not fun. Why have they never reinvented a James Bond without gadgets? Oh, because that's fine. So they keep that core character trait in there. But we've got to change all the other stuff. Dipshits. So Broccoli went on to justify why she believes the character needs to be reinvented for the modern era, pointing to Pierce Brosnan's GoldenEye film, as well as the recently concluded Daniel Craig era. As for GoldenEye, she said, I go back to GoldenEye when everyone was saying the Cold War is over, the wall is over, Bond is dead, no need for Bond. The whole world's at peace and now there's no villains, and boy, was that wrong. What? Modernisation is necessary whenever a new actor plays the part. No, that's complete bollocks. As for GoldenEye, Bond was still the same though, wasn't he? He was still he was still the same character. The same personality. Yeah. I mean, what was it? Ivana Top? Was it? Was that her name? Ivana something. I want to say Ivana. Maybe I can't remember her name. Or Ivana Hump. I don't know. All the names are so bizarre out there. But anyway, she murdered people with her thighs whilst engaging in intercourse and got off on it. So I guess maybe they reinvented that a little bit, perhaps. But no, because Pierce Brosnan still went around banging people, killing everyone, and it was still a righteously fun time. So that's terrible as an example, isn't it? So to that point, she discussed Craig's era of James Bond, noting she and other Bond producers wanted to focus on what a 21st century hero would look like. Alright. Daniel gave us the ability to mine the emotional life of the character, and also the world was ready for it. I think these movies reflect the time they're in, and there's a big, big road ahead reinventing it for the next chapter, and we haven't even begun with that. Finally, Broccoli reiterated that she has no plans to take James Bond television outside the reality programme. We make the Bond movies for the big theatrical screen, and everything about the Bond movies is for audiences to see around the world on that format. So we've not wanted to do television. This is terrible. It's an evolution. Bond is evolving, just as men are evolving. I don't know who's evolving at a faster pace. Men are evolving into absolute pathetic estrogen-loaded pansies, and realistically, they need to get in a gym and do some compound movements, because they're all just, well, basically just a bunch of bitches, quite frankly. Be a bit more stoic, folks. The film's over his tenure were the first time we really connected the emotional arc. And then just, yeah, reiterating how they're going to keep it theatrical. That movie didn't do that well, to be fair. No Time to Die, where their reinvention, anyway. This is the culmination of their reinvention. $759.9 million globally, with a budget of around $300 million. Ha ha. Not good. That film needed to make $900 million to break even. So, yeah, about $100 odd million it lost. Not so good, ladies and gents. Not so good. Not so good at all, actually. So, should you reinvent Bond, Ms. Broccoli? No. No, men, you shouldn't evolve. Stop it. Regress. Regress.